not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's true.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about...
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Thank you for tuning in. This is Brian hRap Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. Hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. Thank you for tapping in. This is 15 Minutes with hRap. And what does 15 Minutes with hRap get you? This is every day I do something to uplift my people. Today is Motivational Monday. I want to motivate my people on Monday, start the week off right. I know it's the end of the day, but you still need motivation. This is brought to you by End of the Bench Media. As I stated, you can watch on www.theendofthebench.com. I would appreciate it if you watch on www.theendofthebench.com because it benefits me as well as the algorithm that puts me in a better standing with the cyber world and things of that nature. As I do every show, I thank my parents. My parents are the most important people to me. Without them, there is no me. Dolores and John created Brian hRap Williams. Brian hRap Williams was inspired by Dolores to create the End of the Bench Media. Thus, we are here. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Thumbs up and like is important. It's the sad part, the way the internet is set up. Thumbs up and like is more important than actually watching the show. So, you hit that thumbs up. It helps, it helps, it helps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, if at all possible, watch on End of the Bench Media. You can do it. Just go there. I'm live there. You can comment in the chat room if you like to. Comment, leave a comment, hit that like button. It's important. Again, it's Motivational Monday. Dark times are coming. That's the title of the program. Today, I'm going to talk about some of the things that are on the horizon that, as far as I see. We are living in strange times, and they're not strange times. If you know history, you understand that history kind of goes in a circle. It's an 8 or a circle, whichever one you want. It is infinity. Until you make corrective changes, you will stay on that path. It seems that my people, the black people in the United States of America, we are on that 8. We're on that figure 8. We keep going round and round and round because we refuse to acknowledge one thing. As the great Dr. John Henry Clark stated, black man, you have no friends. And we don't. We have allies in certain instances, and we have people. What we do as a community, in my personal opinion, we conflate our close proximity to our friends and our cool co-workers and people who have married into our lives and people that you grew up with and you have a strong relationship with. And we've conflated that like they do. Like if I rob a bank, black people steal, black people rob, black people are criminals. And that's encompasses the entire black community. And when your cool friend from another culture, you suck that entire culture in. That's just not the case. That's just not the case. And if nothing else, over the last 7 days, you know, I have my show planned out. Like I've already got tomorrow's program, Tune Up Tuesday. I got that already planned. So there's certain things that I'll just catch on the backside. But I'm glad I caught this on the backside because sometimes you have to allow things to simmer almost like a dish. You know, you cook something, you cook a pot of beans, the beans start getting real good after they're set in the pot for a day or two, or just simmer down, cool off, then the flavor start kicking in. And the flavor kicked in on this story. The reason I say dark times are coming, we are dealing with a wicked regime that is about to take over the United States federal government. They want to mess with Social Security because they want to tie that to the national debt. Social Security has nothing to do with the national debt, ladies, gentlemen, haters, and bitter friends. Nothing at all. Your Social Security comes from your pay when you pay into the government via your taxes and your jobs pay. That's it. It has no strain on the national debt. So that's a falsehood. That's a fallacy. The Social Security is running out of money. How is it that Franklin Delano Roosevelt created in part of the New Deal, created the Social Security program? Every 2 weeks, every week, whenever you get paid, however you're compensated, your job or you pay in the tax scrolls, that FICA thing, that pays into Social Security. How is it that somebody got paid today, somebody getting paid tomorrow? Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, every day of every week in the United States of America. Unemployment is at an all-time low. The economy is doing well, but Social Security struggling. Don't make sense. It don't add up. But the math ain't mathing. But what we're going to do is talk about the people who are trying to and make basically they're creating a caste system. A caste system is just like it's saying. If you ever broken a bone or seen someone with a broken bone, the caste put the whole things in place. The caste system is to keep people on the bottom at the bottom and keep people at the top and continue to separate. You hear things like wealth gap. Yes, that's what that's for. So I'm looking at some of the things that these people are trying to enact, and I'm looking at the behaviors and the people who they're putting in place. They got y'all. Oh man, we need to do something about these migrants. But not one of y'all said one thing about a migrant being put in place on this dude's cabinet. Elon Musk is not from the United States of America. How is he part of the presidential cabinet? Make that make sense? Because he's a migrant. Oh, because he has money, it's better. No, he's still a migrant. I thought y'all didn't like migrants. See, again, this is right out of this book written by Adolf Hitler called Mein Kampf. This dude wrote a book to basically he looked over here in America and then wrote a manifesto on how to be racist. And this is part of it. Discredit the media. Did what they did with the Jewish community. They focus people on the Ashkenazi Jews and they call them I don't want to disrespect them, but the colloquialism that they use, they call them gypsies. And then you had the Ethiopian Jews. Yeah, they ran black people out of Germany first, and then they got the gypsies out. No disrespect to that community. I don't know what your nation of origin is or your heritage of origin is. I just know what the colloquialism is. If I've offended you, please forgive. Then they got rid of those people. Then they went out to the Ashkenazi Jewish people. Yeah, the 6 million people who got put in the ovens and tattoos. Are still people walking around to this day with tattoos due to that. That's what they're setting up right now. Discredit the media, and discredit the people, turn a group of people against those people, and that's what they did with the Jewish people, and that's what they did with the people who they deemed gypsies, and that's what they did with the Ethiopian Jews. Much like when you saw that war in Ukraine broke out, they stopped running the black people off the train, kicking them off the trains. Yeah, same thing. This is history. Again, this is that figure 8 that I told you about. History consistently repeating itself. Nobody wants to address it. Let's address this thing. That's something real light in the media lexicon. Why is it that people are angry with this young lady by the name of Kaitlyn Clark? She's a basketball player. I thought it was shut up and dribble. I thought we were not supposed to pay attention to athletes. I thought that's all they're supposed to do. But she was the poster child for white nationalism. But guess what? She's not a white nationalist. She has nothing to do with that. And she stepped up and said all this stuff that everybody support. Well, you know, when you say, hey, white man, white woman, y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all need to stop disrespecting. Y'all need to stop being discriminatory. Oh, why can't we all get along? You know, I remember back in the day, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was on a show called The Phil Donahue Show. And here you have white folks say, why can't we get together? Kaitlyn Clark said that, sent white America in an uproar. This lets me know white people who are not racist, in my personal opinion, from my point of view, are in the minority. I'm going to say it again. I think y'all in the minority. Do I know some cool white people? You're darn right I do. But I think y'all in the minority, because if y'all wasn't in the minority, explain to me how 160 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, 60 years after the Civil Rights Act, we're still having the exact same problem. And the Civil Rights Act wasn't the first Civil Rights Act. It was just another one. So, point blank period, why are you mad at this young lady was speaking about the unity that y'all always say? Why can't we get all along? See, the Democrats are separating us. The Republicans are look, white hate is running rampant in this country, and it's bled into other cultures, and you're stupid enough to go along with the foolishness, just like you always do. You know, like that trope, black on black crime. Right. Why have you never heard anybody else on anybody else? When those mass shootings happen, usually it's one group of people getting shot, and it's not our people. And guess what? I've never heard the term white on white crime. You're angry with Kaitlyn Clark because she stood up for what you claim to stand for. That's why I'm going to show you this video today. And when I come back, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This is what it is. Always remember, I'm only going to show you a clip of this video. You can go to www, as you see at the bottom of the screen, www.THAENDOFDABENCH, and watch this video in its entirety. Watch up clip now, and I'll come back because it's almost time for me to get up out of here. It's only 15 minutes, y'all. Stay tuned. hRap B, the end of the bench media. Check this video out. It's going down.
American population and a meeting place for civil rights organizers, it was seen as a symbol of the civil rights movement, making it an obvious target. Before the bombing, the Ku Klux Klan had routinely made bomb threats to disrupt civil rights gatherings and services at the church. So, September 15th, 1963, at least 15 sticks of dynamite with a time delay were planted near the 16th Street Baptist Church, and at 10:22 a.m., an anonymous caller alerted the church, and less than a minute later, a bomb was exploded. 5 children were in the basement at the time, changing into choir robes. The explosion left a hole 7 feet in diameter in the back wall of the church and a crater 5 feet wide and 2 feet deep in the basement. Windows up to 2 blocks away were damaged and all of the stained glass in the church destroyed. When news of the bombing spread, hundreds of people gathered around the church to search for survivors. 4 Black girls, Addie Mae Collins, Carol Denise McNair, Carol Rosamond Robertson, and Cynthia Dion Wesley were killed in the attack, with Sarah Collins, Annie Mae's sister, being blinded in one eye. Up to 14 to 22 other people were also injured in the attack. The situation in Birmingham quickly became volatile after the bombing, with Black and white youth clashing against each other, throwing objects, shouting insults, and local police and the governor of Alabama, George Wallace, responded by sending extra forces to help with the unrest. The Birmingham City Council, worried about the safety of the city, met to come up with a solution, but it declined to put in place a curfew. Within 24 hours of the bombing, at least 5 businesses and numerous cars were firebombed, with many cars being pelted with rocks from rioters. 2 African-American teens, Johnny Robinson and Virgil Ware.
I'm back. As you see, things can get real ugly. And that was a long time ago. You a damn fool if you think that was a long time ago and it won't happen. We're living in those times right now. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, all you have to do is turn on your local news, then you would hear the word Daniel Perry. Daniel Perry. Y'all know who that is? If you don't know who Daniel Perry is a young white man who's a former military guy. I think he got kicked out the military. I'm not sure. I don't remember his story in its entirety. He was just acquitted for killing a homeless guy who was having a mental health issue on a public train. And he openly said, I'll do it again. So basically, you don't have an ounce of remorse for murdering someone in cold blood, and it was via a misunderstanding. You're saying to yourself, this guy had a mental breakdown. You threw your white man cape on, killed this Black man, and you don't have a problem with that. But the whole world, they got y'all deterred by looking at Sean Combs and Sean Carter and every other person who's a celebrity. I don't care if those guys go to jail or not, because guess what? I believe in this one word, justice, the reward or penalty for your actions. If they did what they're being accused of, Lord help them. And if they didn't, Lord help them. But the collective cannot be worried about 2 billionaires being strung out and on the television, because that's not what's important to us. I don't care about 2 rappers. I don't want them to go to jail. If they're innocent, I don't want them to go to jail. But that's not my concern, because Sean Carter and Sean Combs are not going to affect our lives on a daily basis. If you don't play any music today, they won't affect you. And that's just the bottom line. But here's the thing. You are not being told about Daniel Perry telling people he would kill another person on a train in public. That's just like, if you're brazen enough to do that, that's just like when our parents and our grandparents used to have to get off the curb. The great director, actor, writer, Bill Duke, he even said he used to have to get off the curb when white people walked in his direction. Y'all want those times to turn? Oh, they ain't never gonna come back, man. We ain't gonna have that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Keep playing. Mess around and find out. Y'all know that's the new slogan. Mess around and find out. But it ain't M, it's F. F around and find out. And that's what's going down right now. Y'all don't want to acknowledge this thing. It's happening. It is happening. Because you know what? It's another guy, a former Secret Service agent. This dude was on a train. These young people, like in Chicago, one of the most famous people in the last 30 years, his name, Robert Kelly. Y'all know him as R. Kelly. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He used to stand on the subway and sing, and people throw change at him. Well, these young people today have, let me see, what's this dude's name? I'm looking up his name. Okay. Got his name. Thank you. These young people today, they get on the actual train and do their little thing and they dance. Whether it's annoying to you or not, it's not the issue. If it's annoying, get your ass down the road on the next car, go to the next car, or just put your headphones on and ignore it. You ain't gonna be on the train for 10 hours. It is what it is. This dude took it upon himself to put his hands on a young black man, pressed him against the wall. His friend stepped up. Now, this is a man with a firearm, a former Secret Service agent. So I'm assuming, I've never been in Secret Service, but guess what? If your job is to protect the president, you know how to handle a firearm, and you should know how to defend yourself. But that's neither here nor there. He grabbed these men, pressed them against the wall. His friend got him up off of them. The doors open. It was de-escalated. He grabbed the young man, threw him off the train, and then went and filed a couple of reports saying he was in fear of his life. Didn't realize that the trains have cameras on them. He's being charged. But with this regime, they'll pardon it, kick it on down the road, because your vote don't count, because you don't vote for judges and you don't make sure you have states' rights. That's what I'm talking about tomorrow. States' rights. That's what I'm talking about. But he didn't realize this. So if you're brazen enough to put your hand on a young black dude, kind of like, have we ever seen that before? An older white guy with a firearm takes it upon himself to put his hands on a young brother and get jackrolled. Oh, Trayvon Martin. That's right. You see how that history just keeps repeating itself. You see how that figure 8 continues to go through. You see how that circle will not break until we break it. Look, we need to start taking self-defense classes. We need to start getting firearm training, because this time we need to be prepared for these angry white mobs to ascend upon us, because they're jealous of us. And we continue to play right into their hands. They're jealous of us. They want to control us, and they want a sense of power. And when people feel that way, they've shown you in the video, the aforementioned video that I showed. They've shown you throughout history, when they fear that you will rise up, they will attack you. Oh man, not all of them. I ain't say all of them. I said the majority of them. Because if it's not the majority of them, put it like this. Yeah, you got your people in the media, the Candace Owens, the Jason Whitlocks, the Byron Donalds, the Tim Scotts of the world, and then you got the rest of the 85% of us that's saying nah. And then guess what? If it's 85% of us saying nah, we don't want nothing to do with discrimination, denigration, and segregation. I mean, denigration, and because we don't really mind segregation, because we can do our own thing. But if y'all want to discriminate against us and filter us out, and we'll do our own thing like we were doing in the 40s and 20s, 30s, and 40s, okay, cool, not a problem. Because guess what? The Negro Leagues came out of that, but that's a whole nother show. But what I want you to understand is this. If they could attack Tulsa, if they could attack Springfield, Illinois, if they could attack Bronzeville right here in Chicago, Illinois, if they could attack Wilmington, North Carolina, and literally say, if y'all don't stand down, we will choke the river with your bodies. Multiple times, Allentown, Africatown, Allentown, Alabama, San Jose, California, all over the United States of America, these things were happening. There are towns that you live in, that you ride over a lake that used to be a black town, and you think that won't happen again. So, physical training, some martial arts or something of that nature, mental training, tuning in, tapping into myself, Roland Martin, Karen Hunter, read down your favorites, my girl, Reese Culver, Clay Kane, Dr. Carr, and what's my man, Lamont King on Sirius Satellite Radio, tapping into those type of programs, getting your mind right, getting your physical right, getting your spirit right, and making sure won't nobody roll up on you. By learning self-defense and firearms training, you may be looking down the barrel of a gun and don't even realize why you're doing it, because we seem to be obtuse when it comes to terrorist threats against our community in this day. In this day, we seem to be thick as all get out about defending ourselves. It's no longer time to do that. It's time to rise up and defend ourselves, defend our youth, defend our elderly, defend our women and brothers of the community. We need to defend ourselves by employing each other, by educating each other and supporting each other. Are there haters? Are there substandard people in the community? Yeah. But why would you talk about if you sitting down at the dinner and having a wonderful dinner, why would you bring up the day that you had a bad meal? You only talk about the meal that you're enjoying. So we're only going to talk about the black people that are down for the cause. Those other people, two fingers, one word. We ain't worried about you. I'm hRap, man. Y'all see y'all tomorrow.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why